What I saw was fun, never anything inappropriate. What I saw was work and play at work and fun. Mrs. Cosby was a frequent visitor to the studio. She was there a lot. That's what I saw.
Picture the night sky over America lighting up every Thursday as families everywhere leaned into their screens with hope and laughter. In those late 80s and early 90s moments, The Cosby Show became more than entertainment. It became a mirror that said, "We see you," to millions of viewers. At the heart of that mirror stood Phylicia Rashad as Claire Huxtable, graceful, witty, and iron strong, a mother people still rank among television royalty. Her warmth helped redraw how African-American families were shown on air, trading tired jokes for real heart and sparkling humor. Today at 77, Rashad is opening the curtain on that storied set and letting us peek at the hidden gears. In recent chats, she has revealed the crushing weight of keeping up a perfect image, the mood in the studio, and the storm swirling around the show's head, Bill Cosby. For the first time, she invites us into a world past the applause, one full of tight-pressure loyal bonds and quiet courage. She once declared, "You don't get to play Claire Huxtable by accident. You have to walk with a certain grace, hold your space with purpose, and carry history in your voice." Those words ring like a bell because audiences could feel that gravity in every scene. That noble stance, that gentle power, and those knowing eyes turned Phylicia Rashad from actor to icon. To grasp why her presence still glows across generations, we must roll back the calendar. Before roaring crowds, before prime-time fame, there lived a bright girl in Texas whose life swirled with music words and the belief that art lifts the soul. Phylicia Eyes Allen arrived on 19 June 1948 in bustling Houston, the second of four gifted children. Her mother, Vivian Eyes, a Pulitzer Prize-nominated poet, playwright, and scholar, soaked the household in books, rhythm, and debate. Her father, Andrew Arthur Allen, an orthodontist, drilled discipline education and excellence into daily life. Even after their marriage ended, the lesson stayed firm, so the Allen children grew up wrapped in creativity and drive. Younger sister Debbie would one day dazzle the world as a choreographer and director, proving the family torch burned bright. The home felt like a safe lab for imagination, filled with records, poems, and daring ideas that pushed the children to think big and dream far. Yet outside their door, 1950s Houston often tried to clip Black ambition. Vivian refused to shrink. During Phylicia's teen years, she moved the kids to Mexico, escaping Jim Crow hatred and giving them room to grow without chains. That bold leap reshaped Phylicia's view of herself and the wider world. Early on, Phylicia sensed a stage calling her name. She sang, danced, acted, and devoured every chance to perform, convinced that theater was sacred ground where truth meets tale. Howard University welcomed her in 1966, and by 1970 she graduated magna cum laude in theater, a roaring start. Howard was not just campus life. It was a forge for Black brilliance, where master teachers honed her craft, voice, and poise. There she learned to command any space her feet touched. Before television etched her smile into living rooms, she conquered the boards of Broadway. She strutted through Dream Girls a Whiz and Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death, thrilling crowds with each step. Classic stages soon called, and she dove into Shakespeare and Greek drama terrains rarely open to Black women then. Late in the 70s, love and destiny crossed when she married NFL great Ahmad Rashad, adopting his surname, a name soon linked to elegance, brains, and resilience. Though the marriage later ended, the name stuck to history like gold leaf. Night after night, critics praised her perfect timing and deep emotion. She portrayed souls both raw and radiant, proving she could channel human truth while hinting at spiritual echo. Many said she was ahead of her era, a Black woman headlining stages where many still question her right to stand. She did not simply open doors, she burst through and beckoned others to follow. Her secret was not only craft, it was presence, pure and commanding. In every room, her soft tone drew silence and respect without a single raised voice. Directors soon saw her as the ideal teacher, mother, guide, or sage roles that needed heart wrapped in intellect. She seemed almost regal yet familiar, gifting viewers a taste of grace within reach. Success never made her selfish. In the 90s and 2000s, she stepped behind the scenes, directing weighty August Wilson plays like Gem of the Ocean and Ma Rainey Black Bottom, honoring every complex note. Then in a full-circle triumph, she returned to Howard this time as dean of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts, guiding young artists toward greatness. She told them their stories fit inside a grand tapestry, and they must carry that truth with pride. The ripple of her mentorship spreads far and wide. Hundreds of students now thrive in film, stage, and television, citing her calm wisdom as their compass. Awards soon pile high proof of her brilliance. 2004 crowned her the first black woman to win the Tony for Best Actress in a play thanks to her searing Lena Younger in A Raisin in the Sun. Honors from NAACP BET Drama Desk and Lucille Lortel followed along with a 2016 nod for Lead Actress. 2021 saw her named dean at Howard, a new chapter in leadership and vision. In an industry chasing youth, Phylicia remains timeless, booking roles in Empire, This Is Us, Creed, Soul, and more, each dripping with her signature dignity. Beyond acting, she now stands as cultural beacon in an age of noisy feeds and quick outrage. Many, especially black women, find in her a roadmap to strength that stays gentle elegance without ego, intellect without showmanship. Her journey proves you can shine bright without hardening. She is the village elder who has walked the road with honor and now lights paths for others. From Houston streets to Broadway lights, from sitcom glory to academic halls, hers is more than a career, it is a living legacy. Yet that legend carries shadows. To grasp every angle, we must step back on the set that shot her to world-famed The Cosby Show and face the price of upholding a dream built on tangled truths. Remember, she was already blazing before Claire Huxtable ever graced the Huxtable living room. Back in 1984, television executives doubted that a wholesome family comedy led by a stand-up comic and a stage veteran could dominate prime time. Yet by the pilot final curtain, the ratings exploded week after week, stunning even the doubters. Behind that success, cameras rolled in an almost magical rhythm, while crew members whisper about the strict standards set by the show's fearless leader. Scripts were checked line by line to stay positive, bright, and family-friendly. That spotless image left little room for mistakes, so the cast felt real strain to deliver perfection. Phylicia carried that load with quiet steel. She kept younger actors focused, calm nerves during long taping nights, and often offered motherly support when the headlines began swirling around Cosby's off-screen life. Crew members say her calming spirit felt like a shield against chaos. Away from the stage lights, Phylicia still chased new artistic heights. She traveled to theaters across the country, speaking on the value of history and culture, then slipped back into rehearsal rooms where she drilled monologues until midnight. Nothing about her rise was easy, yet she turned every barrier into a stepping stone. When streaming giants recently revived interest in classic sitcoms, many viewers rewatched The Cosby Show with mixed feelings, wonder, nostalgia, and pain. Phylicia responded by urging audiences to hold all truths at once, remembering the good lessons while acknowledging the harm tied to its star. That balanced voice showed once again her gift for grace under fire. Even now, she keeps teaching through example, appearing on talk programs championing arts education and funding scholarships for underrepresented students. Industry veterans still describe her notes as sharp, but caring, pushing everyone to stretch farther and reach higher. Her lasting impact comes from the way she fuses intellect with heartbeat. She studies each script with scholar care, marking every beat, yet when the camera rolls, she moves with pure soul, a blend that few can replicate. That is the root of her power, the reason she endures in a field that often forgets yesterday's stars. She keeps evolving, she keeps leading, and she keeps reminding us that art at its best lifts people toward light. But while the spotlight loves to praise, it also casts long shadows, and the next chapter pulls us into those dim corners. What hidden costs followed each laugh track echo what private trials shadowed every public triumph. Stay tuned, because the revelations are only beginning. During the late 1980s, American TV was ready to flip the script, yet hardly anyone saw the tidal wave coming. That wave rolled in as a Cosby Show, a bright sitcom built on comedian Bill Cosby's dream of a loving, high-achieving black household. What happened next was nothing short of electric. The series exploded into a national craze and rewrote what success looked like on the small screen. Millions tuned in week after week, drawn by a vision that replaced tired jokes with heart, sharp wit, and genuine warmth. Phylicia Rashad stood at the center, weaving elegance, intellect, and deep feeling into the role of Claire Huxtable and lifting the show into the record books. before ratings records and Thursday night rituals. The concept was only an idea floating in Cosby's mind, a plan that would soon redraw America's cultural map. His goal was simple yet bold: present a real black family grounded in love, discipline, and upward drive instead of the negative labels people often saw. In the 1970s, black families on TV were mainly in working-class comedies like Good Times or Sanford and Son, or in flashy dramas, where class and family order were rarely explored with care. Though those shows opened doors, they seldom highlighted professional, stable, upper-middle-class household. Cosby pictured something fresh, a show that mirrored his own life as a college-trained successful black dad raising kids in a two-parent home. The Huxtables would be aspirational, yet relatable, with parents who worked as a doctor and a lawyer, kids who owned strong voices, and humor that grew from love, not chaos. Network bosses at NBC doubted viewers, especially white viewers, would rally around a thriving black family that broke old molds, but Cosby held firm and demanded authenticity over silly caricatures. That grit laid the stones for a cultural giant that would soon tower over the ratings. When it came time to cast Claire Huxtable, the producers needed an actor who could match Cosby's stage power without fading beside him. She had to be sharp, warm, funny, and firm all at once. No easy feat. Originally, Claire was sketched as a stay-at-home mom, yet Phylicia's audition changed everything. She glided in with calm confidence, bright intellect, and perfect rhythm that blew the team away. Cosby quickly recast Claire as a brilliant lawyer, giving the family two pillars of equal brain power and respect. Backed by rich theater roots, Phylicia did more than act. She embodied a kind of woman seldom seen on TV, and from her first moment she owned the role. The Cosby Show hit NBC on 20 September 1984, and by season 1, it ranked number 3 in the Nielsen charts, blasting to number 1 the next year, and holding that throne for 5 straight seasons, an almost unheard-of run. Black viewers finally saw a household that felt true, while white audiences met a family that smashed lazy stereotypes. The Huxtables were everyday people who just happened to be black. The genius lay in detail, yet also in universal themes. Everyone could feel joy in that brownstone with its jazz records, bright sweaters, playful dances, and honest talks. As Claire, Phylicia dazzled. She became the mom of the moment, balancing legal battles and child raising without losing grace or authority. She never played second fiddle. She matched Cliff joke for joke, rule for rule, and love for love, showing she could be partner, parent, pro, disciplinarian, and romantic in one. Her sharp yet caring lectures to the kids entered TV legend. She earned respect not by shouting, but through calm, brainy power that made each word land hard. For young black girls, her poise painted new horizons they could dream of. The show did far more than score ratings. It flipped the cultural story about black families. The Huxtables shattered the broken home myth and pointed to a truth that had always existed, yet rarely gained the spotlight. Claire, in particular, smashed the idea of the silent or harsh black mother. Instead, she showed a mix of strength, beauty, kindness, and steady command. Across the nation, kids felt doors swing open. College seemed closer, marriage looked joyful, and parenting looked like an adventure in love and growth. Thursday nights turned sacred as families gathered to laugh, learn, and feel seen. The ripple reached classrooms, too. Applications to historically black colleges rose as the show celebrated learning and made success feel normal, not rare. Behind the lens, Phylicia was a pillar. She guarded the show's tone with steady professionalism and made sure Claire never faded into the background. Castmates recall a set that felt like real family, and they credit her cool presence for that unity. As seasons rolled on, she shaped Claire's journey, assuring the character stayed the bright mind and warm heart of the house. While Cosby held creator status, it was Phylicia who kept the compass true, balancing energy and empathy scene after scene. Over 8 seasons from 1984 to 1992, she became a national symbol of wise motherhood and black professional pride, earning Emmy nods and NAACP Image Awards. Many still call her their screen mom, aunt, teacher, or guiding star, showing the depth of her impact. Even now, new shows from Blackish to this is us trace lines back to the Cosby Show, and Claire Huxtable still stands as a gold standard for writing and performance. She was not flawless. She was fully human, and that alone felt revolutionary. Her work carved a wide path for richer portrayals of black women and gave America a loving, layered family that will never fade from memory. For 8 bright years, Phylicia Rashad served as moral compass, intellectual anchor, and beating heart for viewers who learned to see fresh possibilities every time the Huxtables invited them in. That vision still lights screens, minds, and dreams today. Network researchers scratched their heads as numbers rolled in and entire households, no matter their zip code, tuned in each week. Advertisers chased commercial slots during the broadcast. Once viewed as risky, now prized like prime real estate since the show drew every key age group. Magazine covers feature the cast smiling wide, and stories praise the fresh picture of Black joy built on laughter, hard work, and mutual respect. Teachers noticed classroom chatter change on Friday mornings as students traded quotes from the latest episode and debated which Huxtable child they most admired. Social scientists later credited the series with building cross-cultural empathy, showing viewers a humor and love cut across racial lines faster than any lecture could. Inside, the studio writers labored over each script, aiming to blend moral lessons with sharp jokes, all while avoiding the cheap-shot humor that once filled airwaves. Phylicia often sat in those sessions calmly suggesting tweaks that kept dialogue crisp, yet always true to the characters she guarded like family. Her theater background also shaped the live taping vibe. She coached younger actors on timing, posture, and breath control, turning every scene into near-stage art. Crew members remember how she would greet them by name each morning, lifting morale and proving that kindness could run alongside world-class talent. That rare blend of star power and humility inspired a generation of performers to lead with grace rather than ego. When later scandals cracked the legacy of the show, many people still clung to the lessons Claire Huxtable taught, reminding them that ideals can survive even when heroes fall. Academic panels dissected episodes and used them as study guides in sociology, media studies, and even law, discussing how fiction can nudge society toward progress. Phylicia's face now appears on murals, college banners, and graduation slideshows as a symbol of brains, poise, and steadfast moral code. Many young professionals say they chose careers in law, medicine, or education after watching Claire excel in both courtroom and kitchen with the same steady smile. Industry veterans often name The Cosby Show during award season tributes as a spark that convinced networks to greenlight later diverse hits, such as Living Single and Fresh Prince. The ripple widened further when fashion stylists drew inspiration from the show's colorful sweaters, chic power suits, and echoing jazz tunes, setting trends that spill from living rooms onto city streets. Through it all, Phylicia never wavered. She kept reminding interviewers that real progress is measured in daily choices, not just trophy counts and ratings charts. Her legacy now stretches beyond sound stages, into lecture halls, community centers, and family photo albums, proving the power of one performance to leave footprints in many lives. She could hush a whole living room with one calm sentence. Whether she laid down a sharp lesson for her kids, shared a soft smile with Cliff, or battled a tough case in court, Phylicia Rashad's Claire Huxtable always glowed with real grace and power. But the next page in the Huxtable saga is darker, and it still stings. Bill Cosby's later scandal forced fans and castmates to question everything the show once represented. For nearly 10 glittering years, The Cosby Show stood like a lighthouse of Black excellence, lighting TV screens with a joyous, stable family that rewrote old stereotypes. Then, after the series ended, fresh accusations and courtroom drama dragged its creator into national disgrace, shaking the dream for everyone who loved it. Phylicia suddenly found herself caught in a storm she never brewed, yet she could not dodge the lightning. Praise for her wise TV mom role turned to fierce debate over her real-life loyalty. Whispers had floated around Hollywood for ages, but they roared in 2014 when comedian Hannibal Buress called Cosby a molester on stage, and the clip exploded online. Within weeks, decades-old claims of sexual assault poured out, some newly filed, others once sealed in silence. More than 60 women soon spoke up, describing patterns of misconduct from the 1960s through the early 2000s. Fans who had trusted Cosby as America's dad felt stunned and betrayed. In 2015, prosecutors in Pennsylvania charged him over the Andrea Constand case. 3 years later, a jury found him guilty on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, and he received a 3 to 10-year sentence. Although the conviction was overturned in 2021 on a procedural point, not on the facts, Cosby's reputation and the show's glow were already shattered. While headlines chased Cosby into courtrooms, the rest of the cast paid a heavy price. Networks yanked Cosby Show reruns, royalty checks dried up, and the once-beloved series felt suddenly untouchable. Some actors stayed silent, hoping the storm might pass. Others, like Malcolm Jamal Warner, voiced sorrow for survivors while mourning the show's lost legacy. He sighed in 2018, "The work we did, the legacy we left, the doors we opened, it all feels overshadowed now." Yet no response drew more fire than Phylicia Rashad's. In 2015, she told Showbiz 411, "Forget these women. What you're seeing is a destruction of legacy, and I think it's orchestrated." Critics gasped, saying her words sounded like a slap to survivors. The tension spiked again in 2021 when Cosby walked free, and she tweeted, "Finally, a terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of justice is corrected." Outrage erupted. Students at Howard University, where she had just become dean of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts, demanded answers. Phylicia soon posted a clarification. "I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to their truth." Howard echoed his commitment to survivors, but the damage to public trust lingered. The scandal felt like a tear in cultural memory. For years, the Huxtables offered hope and dignity to viewers who rarely saw themselves shown with such warmth. Now fans wrestle with a painful question. How do you love a show once built by a man now accused of deep harm? Phylicia faced even sharper scrutiny because audiences had long seen her as the moral heartbeat of the program. Supporters argued she was displaying loyalty to a friend, while critics claimed she ignored victims' pain. Many longtime admirers felt torn. Could they still cherish Claire Huxtable if the actor behind her seemed unmoved by survivor stories? Since those fiery days, Phylicia has moved with measured caution. She remains dean at Howard, where many students still praise her guidance. Yet every interview brings Cosby questions that refuse to fade. On projects like This Is Us and Creed, critics often mention her past remarks in the same breath as her new roles. To her credit, she has not doubled down. Her 2021 apology acknowledged the hurt, even if it stopped short of full reversal. She keeps her trademark poise, but the spotlight now feels colder and more curious than ever. Other castmates also walk complicated paths. Some distance themselves, others stay silent yet loyal, but nearly all agree on one truth. The Cosby Show still changed television forever, even though its creators' actions demand hard conversations about power and accountability. Scholars and viewers continue battle over whether reruns should return or stay buried. One camp insists the show's positive effect on Black representation and college enrollment cannot be erased. Another says airing it disrespects survivors and reopens wounds. The debate mirrors wider clashes over art made by troubled figures, but because the Huxtables meant so much to Black cultural pride, the stakes soar higher. Many now accept two truths at once. The show mattered, and its maker caused serious harm. Phylicia Rashad endures as an icon, yet her image has shifted into a mosaic of admiration, concern, and critique. She is no longer only Claire Huxtable. She is a woman who watched an empire rise, crumble, and echo through her own life. What's your take on Phylicia Rashad's complicated journey? Tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss our next deep dive video.